Hello Cubs fans, this is Jack from Cubs 360. We are coming on the air with significant breaking news. The Chicago Cubs have finalized a deal with the Houston Astros that will send all-star outfielder Kyle Tucker to the Chicago Cubs. Going the other way to the Houston Astros are Isaac Paredes, Hayden Wesneski, and Cam Smith. So let's get right to it right now. The Kyle Tucker, as most of you know, is going to the Cubs. This past year, he had 23 home runs, 49 RBIs, 11 stolen bases, batting average of .289. So this is a very established player that the Chicago Cubs are getting, and that's no secret. He was an all-star for the last 3 seasons from 2022 to 2024. He won a Gold Glove in 2022. He won the Silver Slugger Award in 2023. And most importantly, he's a World Series champion, winning with the Houston Astros in 2022. So let's go to what the Cubs are sending over to the Astros, and that's infielder Isaac Paredes. As most of you know, he got sent from the Rays to the Cubs in the Christopher Morel deal, and that really didn't work out. Paredes wasn't quite a fit for the Chicago Cubs. Obviously, he hit 30 home runs. He was also an all-star this past year, but it just didn't work out. It wasn't a desirable home run hitting ballpark for Paredes because he was quite a merchant for Tropicana's left field, and that'll definitely help him out at Minute Maid Park because they have that left field in Houston, and he will definitely take a lot of advantage from that. So I think Paredes will be a good option for the Houston Astros. I think he will hit a lot of home runs there. Cam Smith, that's a tough pill to swallow. Obviously, that was the third baseman of the future for the Cubs, some people were saying. But the truth is, he didn't have a large sample size where you could really say, this is a guy that you're really sold on. And I understand why Jed Hoyer traded him. And it's a tough pill to swallow, but it's not really hard to understand why they got rid of him. I know Houston was definitely interested in him, and that kid is going to be really good for the Astros when he's able to play for them. Or he doesn't really pan out, and the Cubs look like geniuses here. And then Hayden Wesneski, that's actually the piece that was apparently holding off the deal, and Wesneski wasn't anything special. He was righty, and they put him in the starting lineup a little bit, but for the most part, he was a bullpen pitcher, and it just didn't really work out. He couldn't strike out any lefty batters, and they just took advantage of him a lot. So Wesneski and Smith are 2 prospects. Wesneski is also a hometown kid from Houston, so he gets to go home there. Cam Smith, obviously, a good third baseman prospect, and then Paredes, I mean, like I said, he just wasn't a fit here. And Kyle Tucker, another big thing about Kyle Tucker that I want to say is he is a free agent after this year, so they're going to have to pull some strings if they want to get an extension done, and the rumors were saying that he might not want to sign an extension wherever he goes because he wants to see what the market is out there for him next winter, so we'll see what happens with that. But in the meantime right now, Kyle Tucker, this is a really good addition for the Cubs. Obviously, the Cubs were looking for that big move. Kyle Tucker is definitely that, and that puts him in right field with Ian Happ and PCA in left and center field, respectively. Seiya Suzuki, I know there was a little bit of trade chatter around him. I really didn't quite understand it. I know he doesn't want to be a DH, he wants to be right field, but his fielding just wasn't great last year. He was much better off as a DH, and I think that's where he'll be. I think this move definitely means that Cody Bellinger is gone, so expect a move for Cody Bellinger to happen eventually in time. And in addition to that, we have a vacancy at third base, so we'll see what happens with that. I know there was a rumor earlier today talking about Alec Bohm in a 3-team deal with the Phillies, Astros, and the Cubs. So the Phillies were sending Alec Bohm to the Cubs. I wonder if that's an option that the Chicago Cubs still look at, since they're looking at guys like Nolan Arenado and Alex Bregman, which also means that Bregman most likely is not returning to Houston next year. He was a free agent, and with the addition of Paredes, I would expect Alex Bregman to be gone from the Houston Astros. So anyways, that's all that I have for this one. So Kyle Tucker's a Cub, and I really like this move a lot. It really provides the big move that they need, and I definitely think this puts them way ahead in the National League Central standings. This really gives them a good boost to potentially win the division and make the playoffs next year. And I'll have more on that on the next episode of Cubs 360, which should be coming out in the next 48 hours. I will talk a little bit more about this trade. We're going to talk about the ongoing trade rumors with Bellinger, Nico Horner, and who they could target with starting pitching, because there have been some rumors regarding that. And on top of that, we're going to talk about everything else that happened in winter meetings and how it could affect the Chicago Cubs. So that's all I have for this episode of Breaking News, and I will see you soon in the next 2 days for the next episode of Cubs 360. So this is Jack from Cubs 360, Go Cubs Go, and this was Breaking News.